Hi, everybody. I am on a couple minutes early because I want to try and get my iPad. Oops, now it says I'm live. Sorry. Hello, everybody. I'm Jill Blanchette, the Green Thumb Stamper. I am here a couple minutes early because I want to try and get my iPad set up for the live so that maybe I can see comments a little better. I've said before, I tend to miss them on my. So let's see if I don't know if I'm live yet. Oh, there I am. Okay, so let's. Okay, let me bear with me for 2 seconds. I don't think I'm. I don't know. All right, so that might be. I guess I'm just gonna have to. I'm gonna leave it like that, and then just see, and hope that I see comments go across if somebody comments something. So if you get on, send me a comment. Hey, Marilyn. Let's see if it pops up along the bottom. Thanks for hopping on. I'm not seeing the comments. I've never really watched a Facebook Live on my iPad, so I'm not exactly sure how you get the comments to show up. So click on it. Is it I don't know what button to push. Oop, not that one. All right, I'm just gonna call it good. Sorry. I'll go back now. Click the wrong button. That is what I did. All right. Well, we're gonna forget about the iPad version for now because now I don't know how to get out of it. I pressed the little a little, take two click thing that they show, and now I don't know how to back out. So yes, if you're the first time here watching me, I'm fumbling because I'm trying something new with this, and again, I don't. Does my I gotta maybe go up from the bottom. No, I don't know how to go back, like a back button, like on my phone. I don't know how to go back on my iPad. So anyway, thanks, Marilyn. Hey, Judy. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Christy. All right, so we're gonna just forego this, whatever I got going on here. Let me just shut it down so I don't focus on it. I'll have to try and look over here. So today is World Card Making Day. Put this random piece of paper on my desk from somewhere. And I decided to come live a few times today and show you guys projects, just kind of get myself out there and fill up any time that you have today that you want to watch with some fun card creations. So first one today is fall. So I kind of got a little fall action going on. And let me turn my camera down now because I'll show you all of the things that I'm going to go over and use. So here we go. Let's turn down. I think that's going to be good. Let me get that centered because I bumped it earlier. Let me get my catalog here because that'll be the first thing that I want you to see. Morning, Ann and Linda. All right. Are we in? So let's see. Let's get squared away. All right. So this is what we're going to do today. Stampin' Up did a video in our demonstrator planning place. A couple of the DDMs, it's like our little managers, regional managers, did this. This piece here is a one-sheet wonder, and they showed us how to cut it and which card each piece went to, and then it makes these cards over here. Oh, so hold on. I think I'm backwards. That looks right now. Sorry. So that's what this is, if you've got your mini catalog or you've stumbled upon it, that's what this is. They took the one piece out of the pack of paper, and here's the pack of paper. Let me just show you. That's the designs in the pack. And so that's what we're going to use today is this pack called Autumn Toile. This is like the suite. And a suite is a whole bunch of things that they've put together that you can purchase with one number. Everything can be purchased individually. The only benefit I'm going to say to a suite is purchasing with one number. That gets you everything. You still get the bundled price of the stamp set with its die. You can order those still as a bundle and get the same price. The whole pricing of the suite offers the bundled discount and nothing else. So if you don't want all of the pieces, you don't really need the suite. You could just order the pieces and parts that you want. It's a convenience tool to have the suite number. So that's what we're going to do first in this first segment. I am doing a lot more cutting and such than I would in my normal lives. Just bear with me on that. Let me zoom out just a smidge to get this whole. Oh, I think I must be out as far as I can go. Yep. All right, so we're going to scoot that up. So here is the cutting template for this one sheet wonder. The big number tells you what card it's going to go to, and then I have the measurement in there. The photo is grainy. I think that could possibly be, I need to find another way to copy them off the internet, but I think that that's a Stampin' Up thing to help with fraudulent stealing of all of our designs and stuff. So, but I'm not positive, but I'm thinking, I'm thinking that could be the case. So I've got this page and I posted the document. You can go to my Google Drive and get the document. And here are the cards we're going to make. So I will refer back to this and show you as we get going. I put the products in there that I used. And then just a side note that One Sheet Wonders, you can use this template for any piece of paper. So it does not have to be this suite, this pack of paper. It works for any piece of paper. And then you can make the same card layouts. Then my second paper that I have in there, hey Betty, the second page in there are the supplies that I used. And I will do my best to keep this handy. I also put the products again, but I will do my best to keep this handy and let you know as we go. I'll try and reference back here. When I got to the next session that I'm going to do, I did more to keep it shorter. I said you needed one piece of black at 3 inches by 8.5, and then you'll use that piece throughout the projects. I didn't go through each project and say you need a 1x3 piece of paper. I just gave you one big so that you could pull that color. But I will try and refer back to this as we go so that you will be able to maybe make a note as to which card each piece goes to. So we're going to start with our first card. I guess I don't need to refer back to that document there because I'll just show you the actual card that I made. Oh, we got to cut first. So let's cut. We got our 12 by 12 piece of paper that is not going to fit. I needed to raise up my camera to go out more, but it'll just be for a hot second. So we're going to cut this at 4 inches, so that we get 3 pieces. It's a 12 by 12, so we'll get 3 pieces that are 4 inches wide. And then we will just have to kind of keep track carefully of where they belong. So let's cut these into 3 12-inch strips, or these 3 4-inch strips. They are 12, but they're 12 inches long. So 1, 2, 3. Then the first piece, this one here, we're going to cut 2 pieces at 5 1/4, and then we've got our leftover. So I'm going to put the bottom in first, We're going to cut it at 5 1/4. We're going to do the second one at 5 1/4. Then we have a leftover piece that's going to use the reverse side. So that's card 1 and 2 and 5. So I'm going to put number 5 over there. Let's see if I can keep these kind of organized. We'll see. Then we're going to pull in our second piece. We need a 3-inch piece, a 5 1/4-inch piece, and the 3 3/4. So I'm going to start from the bottom again, and I'm going to cut a piece at 3. And this is card number 6. It will use the back. We need another one at 5 1/4. That's card 3. And then this one should be 3 3/4. And that is card number 4. I'll put that over here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going on. Then we'll bring in our third piece at the bottom again. We need 5 1/4 for card 4. This is a real simple one. Another one, 5 1/4 for card 5. And then this leftover piece, we'll use the back again for card 5. So that is the cutting of that 12 by 12 piece of paper. Now we can pull into our first card. So I got my little cards ready to go. And here's the first card that we're going to make. It's going to use a card base of early espresso, and in my instructions, if you printed them, it doesn't matter if it opens this way or if you go this way. This happened to be a piece of paper that I had on my pile from other cards that I'd been making. It was already cut and ready to go, and it was probably the other half of this one. So I'm just using it. So now we've got that folded in half. I do have a very vanilla for the outside. No, I don't. It's for the inside. Sorry, I use basic beige, I think, on that one, but I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the inside. Anybody who kind of watches me at all knows that I like to get things out of my way, so I do the insides kind of first most of the time, just so that I don't lose sight of the paper. If you're going to stamp on it, stamp on it first, do it last, and stamp and then stick it in case you need to flip it over if you didn't cut it the way or stamp it the way you wanted. And I did take a little random sliver of paper from the paper pack that, again, it was just a random piece that I had sitting around, and I thought that I would put that on the inside. And I should have probably cut it down first. So now our inside is done, except for a sentiment. If you want a sentiment, again, do that before you glue it in. Now we're going to come to the front of our paper. We're going to pull in, oh, there my kitty's meowing. So sorry if you hear her. She may get ornery. I played with her a bunch before I got started just so that she would feel the love and know that I was there for her. But it sounds like she's not going to settle for that little bit today. So I've got a piece of paper for number 1. And this one, you'll need your blending brush and a crumb cake pad. Now, if you want it darker, feel free. You can use pecan pie. I wouldn't go as dark as early espresso, but you could use a pecan pie. But I wanted to keep mine a little bit lighter. So I'm going to ink up my brush, and I'm just going to go off the page and then pull the ink onto. I just want to tone down this background of the very vanilla. So I'm pulling that in, I've got my blending brush down. I could have a grid mat or something down to pick up the ink that's coming off my brush on this, but this is water. You know, you can just rinse it with water. You can wipe it with a baby wipe or whatever you want to do. So I'm just filling up this paper. You can do it as much or as little as you want, however dark you want to get it. You do want to kind of make it look evenly the same darkness. And I thought that by using crumb cake, it brought in a darker color, but not, it didn't overshadow the colors that were in the trees already. It didn't get too matchy, I guess. All right, we're going to call that good because we don't want to be here 2 hours just blending that. So we've got that blended in, and that's essentially the background for that card. We're going to go ahead and glue that on. Again, this is a pretty easy layout. Lots of big background pieces. My friend Mary Nabe, Stamp and Piece, Mary Nabe, she does lots and lots and lots of one-sheet wonders. So if you're a one-sheet wonder kind of crafter, you have to check her out because she does a lot of great one-sheet wonders. I have a piece. Let me get out my sheet and see if I could tell you. We got a very vanilla piece that I told you. This one is the it's 3 by 3.5, but I think it's supposed to be my 3 by 3, and I just pulled it. So that'll go to card 1. We're going to use the Amber Autumn suite for these cards. Not suite, the bundle. I got the stamp and the die set. So we're going to pull in the pumpkin stamp here. And I went ahead and I stamped that with early espresso because we're not going to do anything to it. We're going to leave it as is. But if you want to color your pumpkin in at all, anything like that, use your StazOn so that the color doesn't bleed. Because these are water soluble, the color will run out of it if you're blending, or if it gets wet, it'll drag out. So we're going to go ahead and cut this. Let me see real quick. We may have a die for this, and then I don't have to fussy cut it. Yes, we do. I'm going to see if that's going to cut this out. How great would that be? That gonna cut that out? Yes, yes it does. All right, so I have that on there. Let me get my handy dandy little tape. Call it wall safe tape. We'll see if it's paper safe. Just gonna glue my die on there. Then I have my die cut machine right here next to me. Ready for today. We're using all the plates, the regular sandwich, the base, the let me look at all the numbers. We got the base, number 1, the number 2, and then 2 clear plates to sandwich this thin die between it. So we got that. And then we're going to just put that on the front. I glued it flat. I will do that again because I don't know. I don't like to pop up everything. Then it gets to me like maybe too high. We pop this up, then we popped up this. It would all be maybe too high. I don't know. Personal preference. And then we have the Mossy Meadow. This is the 4x4 piece. And that's a big one for, uh-oh. I do need the other dies. Hang on. I don't know where they are. All right, I failed you guys. I failed you. I didn't have this die with me. I got to find it. Let me look at the catalog and see what it's called. It's this one. I need it. Autumn Trees. I apologize. I should have had it handy right there. And it should be right here. And why is it not right here? Autumn Trees. This is a good sign telling you when you need to purge. You need to clean out, purge, do something, because I don't even have the stamp set here. And if you don't have the stamp set, how can you have the dies? How crazy is that? Well, we may be improvising as we go. Not in my bag. Not in the bag where I created all the projects from. Well, this isn't that a fine how do you do? Oh, what's this? Autumn Trees. Yay. Okay. Let me bring the whole shebang over here. Oh, sorry. All right. So we got Autumn Trees. That's this portion. This gigundous tree. Yeah, how could I not know I needed that? I need all this stuff. So we're going to take this green Mossy Meadow piece and cut out the tree. This is leafy stuff for the tree. And this piece is way bigger than you need. I was just giving you some extra, but go ahead and place it really close to the edge. Because again, like I said, I was overestimating on sizes because we may need a little smidge here and there of another piece. So pop this out of here. Gosh, would that not have been terrible if I couldn't find this? This whole segment would have had to stop and start over until I found it. That would have been bad. Here, I thought I was ready, doing good. Playing with the cat, getting her all taken care of, and didn't have myself all taken care of. All right. Looks like well, I'm going to could have ran that through one more time. Sometimes it's helpful to run a detailed die like back and forth just so that you're sure to get all of the stuff cut through. And then what I'm going to do, I'm not going to bother cutting out all these little pieces, and I'm going to bust it. Set those two pieces aside, and I will bring in my little 3 by 1 1/4. This is 1 1/8, 3 by 1 1/8 sentiment piece with our Cajun craze. And we're going to use to have the blessed to have you in my life. And that comes from Amber Autumn. That's the sentiment we're going to use. Ink that up real good. And I'm going to put it, try and center it best I can. Make sure it looks pretty straight on there. There we go. Then we're just going to snip in the center, and I'm just going to like flag the ends. And for some reason, I tend to cut more evenly if I flip it over and do the back, like the right side the same way. It's weird. If I cut it otherwise, it always is lopsided. So I'm trying to make these the same. As I just did what I told you I'd do better on this side. All right, so now we've got two ends cut. And then I'm going to take this greenery and I'm going to stick it behind. So we're going to kind of cover up our pumpkin somewhat and let this greenery stick out and come down here under. And I can monitor how much sticks out if I like tearing it like that. I can always tear this another piece off if I want to help more stick up. So I want more to stick up, so I'm going to glue it on like that. I'm just going to go ahead. Helps to kind of lay things out a little bit for me. See what I got going on. I'll glue that on like that. Then this guy we really want to shine down below. I should pick out some of these on the bottom part though. Help give it a little more dimension in there. Then we'll just go ahead and glue this one on. I think I'm going to tear this one too to bring this hunk down here. That. And pull it over here so we get a little bit. Oh, wait a second. Maybe I'll pull that one over here. And I'll put this one over here. So it comes around. Yeah, we're going to go like that. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here, here, and here. And then we're going to shimmy them around so it doesn't look too too strategized on there. But there we go. And now we're going to pop this up. This guy gets on some dimensionals. I like to make sure my dimensionals are covering over my pieces that I've glued on, just to help ensure that they're going to stay in place if maybe I didn't get enough glue on them. So we'll call that good. And then we're just going to lay it. Oh, looks like that wasn't dry all the way. So let's stick this down. We're going to cover up, part of our stuff here. And because my glue wasn't, or my ink wasn't all the way dry somehow on that, we'll get our little sand eraser and try and get those little blobs off. Oh, maybe those aren't ink. Could have used our goober getter on that one. All right, and then I have some of the maybe not. Had some of the Cajun crazed gems that I stuck in here that are now not in here. Oh, yes, they are. I knew they were. But I was going crazy. I still haven't found that stamp. I lost, you guys, for the Christmas. The Christmas session at 7. I lost the stamp that I used on one of the projects and still have not found it. Still, I have looked everywhere, twice and more. So there we go with card number 1. And probably could have said and should have said, we want to check our full background pieces. Let me show you why. So there's the first card. Let me show you why. Here, let's get this. This card here, number 3, our number 3 piece, we're going to end up using pieces of number 3. And this is the piece I have for number 3. This is number 4. And this is number 5. So we want a full tree and a couple others. So I think I'm good with this one for number 3, because these are both kind of cut off. So we're good. I needed to make sure I had a piece that I can cut up and get the parts out of it that I need. And number 4, again, we're going to use a full piece. And I don't have one, I probably just used it. I don't have one that has that full tree in the center, but that's okay. Each card is going to be individual. All right, now we can move on to card number 2. Here's card number 2. Another quick and simple. Using mostly just the background again, and decorating it up from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Cajun Craze base, and this one I got going like a book fold, 8.5 by 5.5. We'll go ahead and crease that. Card number 2. Oh, I forgot I had another one down here. This one has the big tree in the center. I do have one with a big tree in the center, so we will save that one. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to grab number 4 from over here, because this one's not going to matter as much. So we're going to use this guy here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our, oh, I don't know if we want Mossy Meadow. I'll use my light Mossy Meadow blend. And we're going to just color in. We're going to color in different parts of the trees to just add a little bit of color. Like, I'm going to say like fall color. You don't have to be picky, precise. We're just going to do like little blobs all around on each tree in different areas, and hopefully that will give it the coloring that it needs. I better make sure that I put on my instructions that we needed these blends. It does not look like I said we needed blends, so I will try and update that. Again, I'm just going to light-handed go over quickly and add in this green. I'll be a little less precise with the, will go faster if I put some random light blobs on it like this. I know it's not about speed, but I'm going to be on a lot today, so I want to make sure you guys have free time between. Don't forget, I'll be off after my Halloween section, and then Stampin' Up will be on at 4 o'clock Eastern time. You want to catch theirs. Don't know if you bought the kit or not to make the craft along with them, but they will be an hour till 5, and then I will be back at 7 for my Christmas stuff. I got dinner in the crock pot. My daughter said, it's Crocktober, Mom, you got to use the crock pot. So I got it in the crock pot and should be done. Cat is not having the fact that I'm not paying attention to her. I'm down here, but Mom, why are you not paying attention to me? All right, so I think I got all the trees with the green in them. I'm going to come back over this one a little bit and see if I can. Now that I got the shaky hand syndrome thing going here for how to lightly dab it on there, it looks a little better. So again, we needed the blends for this card. I did not have them on my paper. Let me take my pencil, make a note so that they're noted for later. All right, so that is, you know, I'm going to call it the technique for this card. Now, also, I made these how they made them in the catalog. I did change a few things here and there, but little minor things. But this, you can also, if you want to step it up a notch, and put a layer underneath. You can, you could do an 1/8-inch layer. So that's just an option. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Hey, Mom. How about your weight? No, it's not in the wastebasket, Mom. I searched. I'm not going to tell you guys how many times. Yes, I will. At least 5. I have dug through, and since I lost it, you can imagine I've added more garbage to the garbages. And I have gone through that at least 5 times. I've taken everything out. I have 3 garbage containers down here that I went through, and I don't know. That was one of those. I forgot who. Oh, my friend Cheryl made a post and said things not to do when you're tired, and she had dumped a giant tub of washi tape all over, and that was part of my issue. I was extremely tired and shouldn't have been trying to create, and I was, and I made the card twice. Even the piece that I used that on, I made that twice, and for some reason I don't know, I set it down and something happened to it. So now we're going to grab this leaf out of here, and I've got the small 2x2 ish to cut out 2 leaves, but I'm going to use this, and I'm going to cut out 2 leaves. Same sandwich, everything is there. I'm hollering because I'm thinking the microphone is behind me, forgetting that I'm wearing it, and I don't need to holler because you can hear me. So I'm going to cut out 2 leaves for this card. And did you know sometimes if you throw down your die that it will pop out of the metal die. The paper part will pop out easier for you. I've been known to stand there and just flop it down, hoping it's going to come out because I don't want to pick it out. And yeah, it doesn't, but typically you can get it to come out. And sometimes extra pieces that you still had in there. All right, so let me get number 2. I'm not good at stopping and cleaning my die pieces out. I just put it back and move on and worry about it the next time. But I do thank those of you that come to classes and dig it out like this. I wouldn't normally pop it out of there. I would move on and worry about it another time when I used it the next time. So we're done with that for now. I'm going to stick that back out of the way. So now we have these 2 leaves that we're going to glue on the front. I've got a small little sentiment piece that's 3/4-ish by 2.5. Let's see. Very vanilla. Oh yeah, 3/4 by 2. Then we're going to take our early espresso ink. We're going to pull out the Amber Autumn set with the Grateful for You stamp. Pick it up with our block. It looks like I picked that up crooked. I guess that'll be kind of nice to get rid of the red rubber for that. Making sure that you got them on there straight is always a pain. At least with the clear ones, you can see it and adjust accordingly. This, I'm just going to have to hope for the best. Can't see. Oh, we're going to go with that one. And then I did the same thing on this one. I flagged the ends, I guess we call them. Fishtailed the ends, flagged the ends. Do this way if I go this way. I normally have it at the wrong angle. This guy I don't, and so what I'm doing is I'm just trying to snip in the middle up as high as you want your angle to go. And then you just snip up to it. That doesn't look too shabby. And then I have a little teeny tiny strip of early espresso that is the 1/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of kind of hot in my basement today. Glue's going to dry up faster than normal. And we're going to just glue this on, kind of center it the best you can. Leave a little bit along the bottom to show. Then we're going to get some of this fun ribbon. I showed it on another live video. I think it's like a loofah, almost like a sliced up loofah. Just going to bend that over, cut a piece off. I'm going to tape that to the back. Oh, it might be kind of long. Let me move that up a little higher, and then I can always trim it. Let me get a little bit of tape. We'll use this red line tape here. I'm going to tape that on so it doesn't go anywhere on me. I'm going to leave the red backing on. And then I have to glue the leaves down. So we want like this. We want one leaf to come all the way up. And we want the other one kind of to come around and down. So I'll stick those there. And I'm just going to squirt a little glue under there to kind of help it stick. If you know you get the glue on the leaf, it helps. That one's not going to stick because I don't have any glue on the actual leaf. There it goes. Give that a hot second to dry. And now we can pop this up over the top of it with our dimensionals. Because I'm getting too much stuff out around me. Here's my dimensionals. Put some dimensionals on the back. Pop it up so that we see our leaves. I'm going to trim these little tails off a little bit. And then we've got those same Cajun craze and gold dots is what they're called that we're going to put on here. Like that. Got the same idea for the inside. I obviously didn't think of this piece first this time. That's okay. Put that on there. I know I cut it too long, which is good to remember. Put that on before. Again, if you're going to stamp a greeting, do it before you put this on and such in case you have to flip it over. Nothing wrong with flipping over your paper. Nothing wrong at all. All right, so there's our second card. Again, one sheet wonders are wonderful. Let me put my envelopes out of the way. That'll help if I get some envelopes out of the way. And you could always, I could be stamping on the envelope, which is what I should be giving a little bit of extra to the envelope right now. Come back. Let's see what we got here. Where's our no. I don't know what I did with the pumpkin that I had. I didn't put it back. It's around here somewhere, but oh, I stuck it behind. We'll put this pumpkin on there in early espresso. We'll just jazz them up with this. Keep it handy so we can just jazz them all up with the same thing. And then when you store these cards, they'll all have the same envelope, so it won't really matter if which envelope you grab. All right, so now we can move on to the third card. Here's the third card. Let me see. Lift that up a little bit. We're going to get into that fancy shiny paper that came with it, or doesn't come with it. I shouldn't misspeak that. It's part of the suite, and it's really nice. Let me get out my, I didn't bring it over. I tried to not bring all the giant stuff over, and it's called Earthen Toned Metallic. This paper right here, and that's very pretty. Very, very pretty. All right, so on this card, get a couple things cleaned up here before I end up wearing them. I need, where's a sous chef? I need a sous chef today to keep moving stuff out of the way. When you guys see pictures of my desk, that's also when I need a sous chef, because I just kind of push things to the side. I'm sure a lot of us do that. Just kind of push it off to the side and move on to the next project. And I really need to learn to kind of clean up between projects. Easier said than done, but I really need to do that. But I get in, I get in a groove. You get in a card making groove and you just want to keep right on going. And yeah, eventually it shows when you stop and take a look at what you've got built up. Then you say, oh, wow, I was productive today. Okay, so now this card, we're going to use this background die from the, and I'm using my little stool too behind me as a table. So let's pull out all of our goodies. We've got a very vanilla base for this card. Again, makes no difference which direction it goes. Happens to go that way too. Now this one, we don't need anything on the inside unless you want another layer to help thicken the card, because it's already a vanilla and we don't need to. Sharon, I used, that was the light Mossy Meadow blend that I put on the trees. And so that is 4¼ by 11. Then I have this layer to go on top is 4 by 5¼ and we're going to run it through our machine. Whichever machine works for you works for me. As long as it's going to be a die cut machine, we're going to try and center that on there and run that through. So come over here. Hope I don't move it. I did. Sometimes it doesn't matter, but sometimes it'll stick out like a sore thumb that you're off center. I'm not a real precise kind of, I'm going to go backwards on this one too. I rolled forward and I'm going to go back just to make sure it cuts all this out, because you guys, this is a lot. See all that cut out? It's a lot. It's going to look like New Year's Eve confetti going on in here. And she's back. She might be too high pitched to come through on the over the microphone. All right, so now we're going to, I might just leave all this in there. Let me get my little, we have a roller brush that hooks on our pick tool, and then you can get a spongy mat. Let's just see how quick I can. So you take out whatever's on the skinny end. Oh, nope, the fat end. I tried to get that out. Oh, you unscrew that, sorry. Till I take this apart often. Screw in your roller brush. And then if you have a spongy mat, which I didn't bring, you just roll on it. Let me get it, because you're not going to get the, I hear you. You're not going to get the full effect of what it's going to do. I'm just struggling to. So we're just going to roll over the little spongy mat. And then all those little pieces come out, come loose. Or the majority of them do. You may still have to pick a few here and there. For the most part, they'll pop out. Uh-oh, my phone's buzzing, dinging. Hopefully I'm still alive. So pop those out real quick. Just a couple other ones. All right. And you don't have to get them all unless that's your personality and you need them all out. If it bugs you, by all means, get them all out. My main fear will be getting them all up off the table and the floor. So we're going to go with that because we're going to cover up part of it. So it should be okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and just glue my border. Glue our border down. And I'm going to put a few dots on the big areas that it's not going to kind of seep out, just for some extra stability to hold this on. All right, let's see, can we get that centered? That looks pretty good. All right. Now this guy is going to use our third paper here. So what we want to do, oh boy, what we want to do is we're going to cut all these out. So get your third paper and you want to cut, well, I needed that big dang tree again. So I'm going to have to use this guy because I need that big tree. So we're going to just see what card number 4 looks like without the big tree in there. So we want this guy here because we want a nice focal part on our card. And we're going to just kind of give that a wackadoo. I'm going to go fast. So don't judge how wonky it may come out. Cut it as close as you want. I am going to come down here and get the ground, I guess we're going to call it. I want to get that ground in here. We don't need the deer because we're going to add our own deer. So I'm going to come up. And I will leave this grass in the back. I think I might end up cutting it off, but we'll leave the grass in the background for now. Let's see how quick I can. Sometimes you just gotta whack it all the way off to keep the excess out of the way. All right, here we go. All right, so there's our first tree that we'll put on. Then this piece is not giving me the second tree. So let's go with, I'm going to cut this tree out. We're going to have to improvise here. I must not have sorted my pages well. And now we have that straight line on it, but I'm going to tuck it behind. So you're not going to see that that is a straight line. Then I do have a third tree on this one. Let's cut this little guy. I don't know what he's going to look like on there. If our forest is going to be all messed up with trees at every depth. And I'm just looking to get a few, trees. See what we got. Get out. And we're just going to set that there. So I'm going to layer that up like that. Just see what we got. I can actually pull this guy up higher and bring this guy down lower. Like that, maybe. slide it all over a little bit more, kind of centered on there. Still got to hide that straight edge on there. All right, so from there, we've got a piece of that pretty metallic, and we're going to cut the deer. All right. Can you feel my frustration? Where'd the deer go? The deer is in with the trees. Down here on the bottom, again, I got too much stuff going on. So we're going to go over and cut the deer out. Be right back. And we don't need all of the bottom. We don't need how wide it is. He's got a lot of extra stuff going on in him. And I put it right down close to the bottom so that it just cut it out of the bottom. All right. Let me get our sentiment piece, because we're going to glue him onto the sentiment. So we got our Versamark. And our thanks from the Amber Autumn. We're going to put our anti-static powder on there because we don't want stuff sticking where it doesn't belong. And I want to put the thanks kind of right to the end. And then we're going to use white embossing powder. Which it looks like I need to get some more. That back, and then I will heat that. I'll heat it from the top. This one doesn't blow off as much as it did the other day. And you're just going to heat it till it all turns shiny. Then it's done. And I blew my trees right off. It's windy. All right, then we're going to glue our deer behind. And just going to go I guess because I got some small trees, I'm going to glue part of like the rock here. We're going to go with, I'm going to leave part of that rock on there. And now that the embossing powder has dried, I'm going to try and, I didn't bring a paper towel with me. I'm going to try and wipe that off to get that embossing buddy static powder off. All right, and then I'm going to trim that up. This is going to go right over here to the edge. So now we can stack our trees and get our trees glued on. How about we come down here? Let me glue those two on. This guy, he's going to be. So I'm going to glue the trunk down. Here. And we'll glue this guy. I'm just going to glue him up and in the back. And then I'm going to take some dimensionals. Look, I found them. and I'm going to stick it behind the tree here. I want my tree to stick up. Pull it off there a little bit. And I'll do the same on this one back here. I'm stick him up a little bit. I need to trim this off. I saw it showing, so we'll just trim that off for now. And so now we can bring our deer in. And we're going to go over to the edge of our paper and we're going to pop it up on dimensionals. I'll put one up there to hold the deer on, just in case. We're going to glue that over to the edge. Oops, but I kind of don't want the bottom of the trees to show that I cut them off so much. Oh, that was why I don't have the rock on there, because I had the deer over. That's why I cut it off so that the deer was over more. You'll see the deer on this guy's right at, but it's fine. Looks great. And then I'm going to pull this tree in down here. It might look a little goofy because it's kind of big and fat. Probably need that smaller one, but we'll put it down here anyway just to help fill in the tree space. And I'll do the same on this one. I'll pop a dimensional behind it. Then we have the piece of paper, this one, all the pumpkin patch stuff on it. It's got the little diamondy stuff on the back. We need the pumpkin. So again, I'll cut fast. And I'm going to go, yeah, I guess I can pull this in, this twirly thing. Actually, I'll just pull in the whole thing and see what it looks like. We can cut it off after. Let me go over here. Oh, that's going to be too big. It's not going to cover my words. So let's cut that off. Up to our pumpkin. Oh, I got a sneeze coming on now. I'll do my best to hold it in. Good, I think I lost. Now, generally, I would be a little more careful with how I'm cutting so that my leaves and stuff were a little more defined. But yeah, I'm worried about time, but I'm not worried about time because I knew that today was going to be longer videos because I wanted to, you know, card making day. Let's make some cards. So I'm going to glue this guy on here. I'm going to glue it all the way to the end. And I'll pop up this end with the dimensional because it's going to hang over. So pop up that end. We'll put some glue on this side. And then I just want to make sure that I got something covering that corner. And the bottom. And so that should be this card. This card should be all done now. You have some extra pieces of paper left over if you want to save them. Oh, that's what I was going to do. So this guy, this is card number 3. This guy. Ah, look at you guys. Surprise. Well, whoops. So what I'll do, not now, I will cut this off and I will put it on another card base. And then I won't do this now, but I'm going to cut these out and I'm going to glue them down here on the inside. So that's what this one's going to end up like. I guess I could do that on my sample here. I'm going to cut off a little bit of this extra scenery. And so then on this one here, I will cut all these leaves and put all these leaves inside. But since I whacked off this piece of the designer paper to get the pumpkin for the outside, rather than waste it, we can put it on the inside. Unless you save pieces like this for real projects, but I just thought it looked kind of cute to use it for the inside. And again, if you want an extra layer to help with heft, and it would probably look good on this one, so let's do that. Hang on, shaking it up as we go here. Let's cut this one off because we're going to have to make it into something else. Then let's cut this one to 5 1/4 by 4. Crafting on the fly here. And then we'll glue it. Let's glue this little guy in while we got him. I'm going to put it right in the center-ish. And then we'll glue this piece to the inside to give it that little bit of heft. And I just think that by putting that little pumpkin thing, it just looks like it needed to be on its own like piece of paper, not just stuck on the card base. All right. So there we go. That is, oh Lord, is that our third card? We're going to be here all day. No, we won't. All right, card number 3. I'll finish that one later. Card number 4. Put these 2 little pieces off to the side because we will use those. Card number 4. We've got a Cajun Craze base. This one I got at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Score or just fold at 4 1/4. I haven't been looking at comments either. Sorry, guys. Now this one, we've got, this is where this piece comes into play, and this big piece. So this big piece is going to go right in the center, and we're going to cut a big tree out. So what I did was I got my Cajun Craze ink, and the Autumn Trees has this, I don't know if it's dirt, if it's more tree leafy substance, but that's what I'm using. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm just going to stamp around on the background to give that a, I wouldn't go more than 2 iterations of the ink, like 2 stamp offs, or you might find that it's just getting too light, but let's just get that done. All right, we're going to cover up most of that, so we're good. All right. Now we're going to glue the big piece into the center. Would have been nice had I found my Christmas stamp in this stamp set that I had to go look for, you know? Wouldn't that have been wonderful? So we're going to go ahead and glue this guy down into the center. I'm eyeballing. We should probably measure. Oh, good eyeball this time, Jill. So we glued that one down. Then we got this big old piece. We need to cut the tree, the big tree out. So I think I shook mine up here from the Stampin' Up version. And I'm using the full tree layer. So I've got not just the outline of the tree, but I'm going to use the one that's going to put the leaves and stuff. I just wanted to give it a little more look, a little more something, something. I don't know what, but it's not really pizzazz, but I'm going to pull this down as far as I can to get it as much of the tree in there that I can, because again, the pieces, I didn't look at my pieces close enough to see what all I had for each card. I just went and did it. So here's what we get when we cut that out. Ooh, we're going to have to come up with another idea for segment 2 for where to put all my pieces when I use them. I'm done with them. All right. So unfortunately, if you wanted to, you could layer this tree behind or on top of something else, because when we put it down, it is going to suck up the brown from the background, but it sort of kind of looks good, I think. You can, it gives it a nice dimension still. Maybe it, you know what, I'm going to pop this guy up, pop this one up and give it the ability to, you know, look through. You're looking through those holes. See if that does any good. All right, so let's go. I cut one in half and we'll put. All right, so we're going to put all these dimensionals on this guy, and we're going to pop this one up. Sous Chef, will you take all those backs off that, please? Have that ready when I'm in need of it. Too bad I can't teach my cat. Then she could be involved and she could be with me as much as she wanted to be. All right. We've got 2 strips of that pretty flashy metallic paper, and we're just going to glue them on here like so. And note on these, if you get glue and stuff on them, it is hard to like get off, so be careful with it, because it will, I don't want to say smear, but that's a good word for it. It just smudges the pretty shine. So just be careful to try not to get anything on it. I think I did on mine somewhere. Whoops, holy cow. I can't find it now, so we're just going to leave it like that. Now we're going to pop this up on front and see if that, how that takes a different look. So now we can see through. We get the whole dimension of it. And I got it on there crooked, but we're going to leave it. Get the whole dimension of the being popped up on there. And then we've got just a little tiny piece of mossy meadow. This is the probably the 2 1/4. Oh, I changed it. This one's 1 1/2. I cut it down. It's 1 1/2 by 1 1/4, I believe, because that one was a little bit big. So we're going to do the same kind of thing. We're going to put some anti-static powder on it. We're going to Versamark the You're the Best from, or You're Simply the Best, not just the best, but simply the best. We'll use that from the Amber Autumn with some Versamark. Crooked. Hopefully we're going to go down straight. Or not, that's crooked. Okay. All right, do over. Got it too low. Try it again, last time. Where's my stamparatus? Okay, so this guy is way low. He's cut, I'm going to say he's cut wonky. So I got to, he's right at the bottom line. So I don't want to like center it on my paper because that's putting him too low. I'm going to move it up. He's still crooked, but at least he's a little more centered. So now I'm going to do the white powder again. Tap it off. And hit it with the heat. Hold on, I gotta. Okay. Hit it with the heat, and now we're gonna pop it up. So I need to pop it up on the right hand side, and then I'm gonna glue a little bit on the left hand side because it will be, I'll stick it to the tree. Because the tree's popped up, it should touch. And let me kind of, if I sort of turn it crooked, then it evens it out. So this guy, again, we've got a Berry Vanilla for the inside, and I cut a thicker piece on this one that'll go up and down the, I want those little things pointing the other direction. We'll go up and down on it here. Oh, Debbie Green, how you feeling today? Send Debbie Green some healing vibes, please. Get her back on her feet in no time. All right, so that is card number 4. Envelope number 4. Let's see what we get. I'm just going to huff on it. Got a little lighter version. All right. Almost done, guys. We got card 5. Here's card number 5. Oops, got to move card number 4 out of the way. We've got Very Vanilla. This one opens up like a book, and mine flips up like a tablet of paper, I guess. We need a solid back and 2 strips. And then I've got pieces for the leaves and a punch. I got a 2.5-inch punch. You could go larger if you had a die. I didn't. And we're just going to punch out of this paper somewhere 2.5-inch circle. Hate to waste paper, so I gotta go there though. Like I say, it could probably be a little bit larger. There's some circles that will work, but we're going to take these two pieces. Oh, let me glue this one on first. We're going to glue the tree side up. Center that guy on there. And again, if you want to take them one step further, put another layer behind them. Layers are just so beautiful on cards. These two pieces, you can just stagger them if you'd like. Otherwise, we're going to put them together and we're going to just nip it up. And cut them. See how, ooh. And then we're going to glue these down, kind of overlap them. One's longer than the other, kind of like that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Not going to pop anything up on this. Just going to glue these guys down. And like I said, we're going to overlap them. And in my head, I'm going to leave kind of the same amount on each side. I'll put this one a little closer to the top. This guy I'll put down a little closer to the bottom. That looks pretty close. Like that. We've got our circle. We're going to stamp directly on that circle with our autumn wishes in early espresso. Ink that baby up. I'll try and, oh yeah, my other one's way bigger circle. But it works. We're going to pretend I only had that 2.5-inch punch, so that's why I used it. We'll pop that up on the front there. And then we need to get 2 leaves of this, 2 Cajun Craze, 2 of Mossy Meadow, and then I'm going to call it a weed of the early espresso. Let me look for the leaves in the weeds again. So we need that leaf. We need this weed. And then we got to go to the die cut. Let me see if I can cut 2 leaves at the same time. So let me layer the paper and see if it'll do 2. Pressing my luck. And I always end up, I'm like, oh, I think I can cut 2. And so I go to cut 2, and it takes me so many times of rolling back and forth, that I should have just done 1 at a time, because I've rolled it that many extra times that I didn't need to do 2 pieces at one time. So let's see if it cut through. Looks like it might have cut through. Yeah, the beauty of that is it works, but then you got to find all the pieces when they fly out. All right, so we got 1. I don't think it went through the, what did? Okay, we got it. Yeah. Come out, come out. All right. All right, one more set. Be right back. And the weed the weed did work too, so I only needed one weed, so we're all good there. Cut this one out. Back and forth, back and forth. See, I could have just. All right. Here's our weed. Leaf. All right, I'm going to leave that one in. I'm not going to pick that one out. So we're good. Now I'm going to arrange these just on my circle here. Oh, this guy can come down here. Okay, we're going to do those like that. Then we're going to put this weed. I took this little weed right in here. And I think he'll show up more by leaving those veins in that first one. And then this one's going to hug along this way. And I'm just trying to kind of contour with the circle. Okay, now how are we going to, can we glue all this down? Put a little glue on this guy. Get him to stick there. A little glue on the weed. Just build it and then glue it the rest of the way where we need to. After most of it's stuck, glue the green one on there. Looks pretty good. And then we're going to pop that up on the front. A lot of popping up today. A lot of popping up in these. So again, I'm going to put my dimensional right to the edge so that it hits these pieces that you saw me barely put any glue. So we just want to make sure that they're going to stick. Oh, no more nerve block. Oh, Debbie. And so then we're just going to put that like right there. You can see the difference. So I kind of like the bigger circle better. Smaller circle does show off what's going on back a little bit better. Oh, you know what too, Linda? I got those tweezers somewhere. And we got tweezers last year at Chirpy Card Maker, Chirpy Doodle Retreat that I got right here. And when I went to Shipshewana, Indiana over the summer, they have a what do you call it? Flea market thing. I'm going to digress here. Let me show you. I'll show you what I got at the flea market from the guy. And they're probably dangerous and not a good idea, but I think they're maybe old. I don't know what kind of tools they are, but I got this to poke with. It might be too dangerously sharp. And then I got these cool stainless steel tweezers. And I know that that would work. That would definitely poke them out. But Yeah, I haven't tried this on my dies yet. It might have been a dumb purchase. I think they were 3 for $5. So, who knows? My hands might turn green or something from them. So let's put some of those Cajun Craze dots on here. Getting my use out of my dots. And that is our 5th card. I didn't put anything on the inside of this guy. Again, it's vanilla, but another layer to make it a little, well, it's not real stiff on this side, so this one might get by okay. When you get a lot of layers on the front and your back is not as thick, to me it feels, you can feel it, but that's just me. So there's our 5th card. What can we stamp on that one? Should we do that one with our big old pumpkin thing too? We got some leaves. I should use the acorn stamp with the leaves, but no sense in getting another one out, and this one's already here. Now our last card, easy peasy, we'll be out of here in no time. Take this while we got it, puff on it, stamp down. So we got our envelope all ready. Now this guy, I did not bring my, I've got a 8.5 by 5.5 piece of, you know what, I'm wondering if I have, I didn't even cut it inside for this guy. What was I thinking? We're going to cut the leaves out with a die. I got to get my, I put all my Stampin' Blends away the other day. What was I thinking? I don't think I was thinking. I was cleaning up and I put everything away and I had it all out for a reason. So we're going to go with the stays on for this guy. No, I'm just going to do the memento. That's probably what I needed to say earlier. And I told you to use stays on, and I meant to tell you to use memento because it will bleed. So if I said that wrong and anybody picked up on that, I'm sorry. But yes, we want to use the memento and not our regular. I did use stays on the other day, and that's probably why it was on my brain. So we're going to pick this guy up. We're going to ink him up with some memento black. Or I'm delusional and this isn't the right, this is it. This has got to be it, because I never use my stays on. So we got our leaves and acorns down. Now this guy, I've got the old olive and the mossy meadow. So I just knocked one on the floor. If I can get it. Oh, okay. So I'm going to use my old olive because that will contrast a little more with the mossy meadow paper. So I'm just going to come in and add a little bit of the dark on these lines. This. On the leaves. And then I'm going to do a little bit around the tips and like in these, I don't know what the right word for them is, a little crotch of the branches and down here. Anywhere that you kind of would think you'd want it darker. Oh, I forgot to ask Betty. Betty, you were on. Do you remember what color blend you used for the center of your flower that I gave you at Chirpy Retreat, and I had thrown it away. For the life of me, I could not find where I was missing a color to reorder it. And I said, oh, Betty will remember what she used. And then I never contacted Betty. All right, so we got that going there. Went a little bit darker, like I said, in some areas. And we're going to come in with the light. Oh, wait a minute, I got two dark old olives. Maybe it was old olive because I got two darks. So we're going to come in with the light mossy meadow. See how dark that is. Oh, crud, that's not what we want. Well, we're going to have to use the dark old olive. Color it with the dark, and then I'll go back through and darken those. Yeah, I wonder if that was a color that she borrowed. And it had a crack in the barrel, so it was all dried out, and I threw it away. But she used it in the center of a flower. And for the life of me, I couldn't remember what color it was. All right, so let's get this guy done. Quickly, but not too messy. Okay. Those are a little bit darker than the way my sample turned out, so again, that might have been the color. So I'm going to come in with my dark mossy meadow just to define those areas a little bit more. Like this. When you get confident, that's when you make all kinds of weird mistakes. Okay. We're going to call that good. And that'll change a little bit in its coloring. So then I brought in my pecan pie. So we got a light and a dark. I'm going to color the dark on the stem a little bit. And just random on the cap. And then I'll come down on the acorn itself. I didn't want to do this part with this color. What was I thinking? I'm trying to hurry. And so now we'll fill in with the light. Finish it off. I'm going to say the acorns up here in Michigan, they're dark like that down on the bottom. So let's come in with our dark crumb cake and see if we can kind of fix that so it's not quite so. I wanted a better contrast between it, but oh good, that didn't turn out too bad. I wanted a better contrast between the acorn cap and the acorn itself, so we'll call that good. We're going to call that good just because we're winding down here. And we're going to cut this out with the die. I'll take 2 seconds to look for it. There it is. And a half hour to get it off that tape. Holy cow, is that tape strong they put our dies on. And now, like I said, any paper that you have works. And then you just cut it for the same layout for the same cards. Then you just come up with whatever stamp set you're working with or you want to work with, and then put it put it into action on all these different layouts. So this guy again, we're going to take that little dirt looking stamp and I'm going to fill in the whole background. With a mossy meadow ink, and then just, I don't know where it went. Lord, I took it for the Christmas set. All right. And we're just gonna, again, go all around. Because it's gonna cover up. Oops, I gotta be careful. So there. That should be good because that should get all covered up with our last piece. Sure shooting. All right, that needs to stay handy for the Christmas card. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Well, you know what? I wonder, I keep seeing that tree that I was talking about earlier. I started cutting from the bottom on all my pieces. I wonder if I would have started cutting from the top. If they would, I would have had more of the full trees. Food for thought. All right, we're just going to glue that down. We've got this guy here. We're going to pop some dots on the back of it. We've got that loofah ribbon again. And we will put that behind it. Stick to my, yep. So now we'll just put a couple more dimensionals because I used them up with the sticking the ribbon stuck to them, but that's all right. So we're going to just put this across the front. We want that to point over a little more of an angle. Pop it over to the second dimensional that I put on there. There. Pop that over here. Not sticking because I don't have a dimensional under it, guys. Lord. Can't leave well enough alone, Jill. Stick another one on there. I just want it to be more over this way. All right. Stick that on there. So we've got a little piece of white that we're going to use the thanks on again. This time we're going to use the early espresso. Oh, Betty doesn't remember. That's okay. One day when I need it, it'll come to me. I was looking in my head, I was remembering, oh man, I was remembering what the card looked like in the flower center and how it did what you needed it to do, but it wasn't the color it was supposed to be. All right. Oh, that's awful. Try it again. 2 sides to every paper. Looks like I'm a little bit crooked. I always look at it like this. I'm like, okay, it looks right. No, it looks like it's going uphill. And I eyeball this, and then I turn it over and say, okay, that was supposed to be straight, but the block wasn't crooked when I was looking at it, so it then confuses me. So we're going to go with that. That was just a little peek at how my brain works that you probably didn't need to know. We're going to cut them at an angle, and then we're going to stick it right there. And now that I got ink on me, all right, we're going to glue it flat right over the leaves, hanging it off a little bit, not too crazy. Now you could put some more gems on this one if you want, and definitely do the inside. I have no idea why I cut for everything else, but not this guy. So there's our 6th card, you guys. I appreciate you watching, sticking with me, picking up what you could, watching when you could. I'll be back again at, oh my gosh, I'm coming back at 1. I'm going to come back a little bit later, I think. Wow. All right. No, maybe I said I'd be at 1. So I'll be back at 1. I'll gather my goodies and I'll be back with all my Christmas projects just because I said I'd be back at 1. Talk to you soon.